This time on beard builds, what we're going to do today is, now, I started this project a while ago. Obviously I haven't filmed any of it. Did take a heap of pictures of the whole process though. I bought a HQ door off Facebook Marketplace, just needed something to keep me occupied and keep me busy. This door was absolutely trashed, like it was 100% rotten everywhere. I've had to rebuild all the front edge, all the bottom edge of the door, and the back edge, and I even had to put a half skin on it that I made myself. So what I'm going to do today is, there's one patch that's left on the back edge of the door. What we're going to do is we're going to make that patch panel. I don't have any MIG gas left though, unfortunately, to weld it in, but what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that it can be put in place and then it can be held by the back edge door clip, and we can go from there. So let's crack into it. Okay, so what I like to do is get a bit of cardboard and poke it in from the back side, get it as close to where you need it to be, and then tape it off. Alright, while it's in position like that, take a pencil, and what you want to try and do is you want to try and mark inside of where it actually is, so you can buy yourself some more room on your actual patch piece that you're going to cut out. I also like to dot lines on the page, on my little template piece, where I know the bend's going to be. Then you take it out. What you're left with is an outer limit on your patch piece. So what I'm actually going to do is, I already pre-marked mine. I'm going to cut that out there, and then we're going to go and cut our actual panel. Okay, the next thing we've got to be concerned about is, we can cut our piece out and it's going to be flat. It's going to have a bend at the bottom. We know that already. But the other part of this is, that you probably can't see from that position, is there's actually quite a contour in that. Now, I don't have a contour gauge or a profile gauge, but simple way you can do it, lay a piece of cardboard in, measure that out, mark your line on there, and then, yeah, okay, so I've got a little bobble in mine there, but what you can do now is, you can cut that out, and that acts as the other half of the template that you're going to need to make your patch panel. Okay, so what I've gone and done now is, I've gone and cut a piece of steel out from my donor panel that's outside of my shed, down the side of my house, and simply you just hold it on, put a flat edge against a flat edge, mark it out roughly, and then what you can do from there is you can trim out your panel. Take that off. So roughly marked out, go ahead and cut that now. Okay, so the next important thing we've got to look at now is, we need to sort of transcribe a rough line on our template where we think that the bend's going to be. Now, this is fairly critical. You can measure it out. I just like to know that I've taken my hard bottom edge, lined them up, actually ruled them out so they actually are even, gently put that line on. Now, because I'm only going to bend this in the vise and just use a couple of dolly hammers like such, we're going to just sort of gently test that bend. You don't want to go put a big bend in there first and then have the panel that you're putting in there warp, because you've had an excessive bend. So just gently bend it in the vise by hand, and then when you get it to the right position, you need to hard finish it over with your planishing hammer. Okay, so we've got a piece set up in the vise, like I said, just going to gently bend it over by hand so we can work out the rough angle that we want. And then from there, we take it out, and it's all a matter of testing and adjusting where your bend needs to be. Okay, so we've got our piece bent by hand and we've just poked it in there just to check the angle. Okay, so yes, that angle of the bend is going to change because of our profile change. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to put my pipe back in my vise, but I'm actually going to start forming that rounded section. Okay, before I start shaping this on the pipe again, there's a couple more important steps that I like to put in when I do this sort of thing. So we know that this is going to be the middle of our inward part. This has a bend that slopes from here this way, and it also comes out down that way. Now, remember when we made our profile piece before, there's actually two halves. So when you've cut that out, you should end up with your two halves, like so. With your two halves, this one will help you on your panel piece, and you can also test and adjust with this half when you're actually dollying it around. You can shape it up against here because that forms the door side. This side here, you need to butt up against your piece to test that. That side is the door. So effectively, they sandwich together. Okay, so I've spent a bit of time on the hammer and the dolly. Now, as you can see, I've put that profile bend in here that actually flushes up on this side of the door. I've got that section there pretty much also flush as well. Now, the one thing you will notice is I haven't quite got the profile shape. We grab our profile gauge and we butt it up against there. See how it's slightly off in the center and it doesn't quite meet the curve at that end. Now, the problem I have is without having any mid-gas, I can't actually spot this panel in. This would be a great position to be in now, to have this patch panel where I can tack it here and here, a little bit of a hammer there to flatten that out, and then tack on that corner, and then slowly tap that in and weld that. That then would be able to help me get the rest of that profile shape in there and weld it up. And then lastly, what I'd do is I'd close the seam over to keep that patch panel piece in there. Okay, so I've cleaned up the patch panel a little bit more, and it is ready to be welded in. Now all I need to do is, like I said, just finish tacking that over. Got it held in the front section now, just close that door edge relief back over, and yeah, we're looking pretty good. So now, finally got to go and buy some mid-gas. Okay guys, look, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you actually found some of this content helpful. I mean, again, it comes down to personal preference. You know what, there's probably 1,000 different ways to go about it. They're the steps that I like to go about, especially if you've got complex shapes that you want to try and move it around. Yeah, okay, I did skip ahead and didn't show you me actually hammering the curved section around my pipe, but figured you don't really want to stand there and see me hammer away for 20 minutes. I mean, I don't think that's going to make great content. But yeah, like I said, once I can get off my ass and go and get some mid-gas, I'll be able to weld that in, and then I'll have one tiny little section above that I've got to repair, and that's it. Then I can finish sanding the door, paint it, and that'll be one more saved classic Holden part back in the world. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.